Morning. 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 Hello guys, Vino here, and welcome to this OTGV, and this is going to be a within day OTGV. I know, what a surprise. So yeah, rather than doing it over a week or so, I'm going to do it within today, basically. So I'm going to be recording throughout today, little bits of my day, and then I'm going to upload it at the end of the day. And I'm going to do this for now just to tie you guys over. I'm just going to clean off the lens here a moment, because I just saw like a light beam come down. Normally means the lens is a little bit dirty. Oh, that exposure is, oh, there you go, that's better. That exposure was not good. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, going to be recording bits and bobs of my day. It's currently coming up for 10 to 12 a.m. on Sunday the 5th of October, I think it is. Oh, sorry, it is on my phone doing things. Yeah, Sunday the 5th of October, 2025. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot the year then. Oh God, today's going to be good. I'm starving right now, and I'm going to put some leftover pizza in the air fryer in a moment to warm it up. Have that, relax for a bit, might pop to the shop in a bit, get a couple of bits. But today's just a nice relaxing day. I did wake up to an interesting email from CX. So on CX, when you favourite something and it's out of stock, CX will let you know when it's back in stock. And there's an item that I've had my eye on for a while, which is the Sons of Anarchy Collector's Edition on Blu-ray. And I've had my eye on it for quite some time. Now, I remember seeing it on a YouTube channel a while ago. I think he was an American YouTuber. The UK version of this set is a little bit different than the US set, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But I remember seeing it and going, I really want that set. Hopping on eBay, because back then eBay was my primary way of buying pre-owned or pre-loved, if you prefer, items. And it was ludicrously expensive. I'm talking £300-400. As time's gone on, it's dropped in price. It's still quite expensive on eBay if you want to go down the eBay route. But one little tip I'll give to you guys is keep an eye on CX. So what CX tend to do, CX will use eBay prices as a benchmark, as a yardstick, if you will, of how to sort of, as a framework. How many more examples can I come up with? They'll use eBay as sort of a base point. But the thing about CX is they're a business. Yes, they're a business on eBay, but they've got staff to pay, they've got shelves to fill, they've also got shelves to clear because they're getting stock in on a regular basis. The reason why this is important is as time goes on, things go down in price. Stands to reason, doesn't it? And Sons of Anarchy Collector's Edition on CX was £80. I bet you if I was to go onto eBay right now, I'd find it for £150-200 easy. So £80 from CX is not bad. And there's quite a few sets on eBay. If you're savvy, you can pick up for a good price. I've got the Ultimate Edition of Battlestar Galactica, which again goes for sometimes £300 on eBay. I don't understand where people are getting their prices on eBay. I got that for like 80 quid. Or was it 80 quid? £110. Anyway, much less than £300 on CX. The only thing is obviously is a bit of a gamble on CX what condition it's going to turn up in, but you can obviously bring that to CX's attention. And by the way, a little tip from me, if you go on their Facebook page and talk to them via Messenger, far quicker. They don't have a phone line nowadays. They got rid of it just after COVID. Is what it is. They used COVID as an excuse to get rid of their phone line. A lot of companies did that just after COVID, unfortunately. But you can use Facebook Messenger to get in touch with them, and they are pretty quick at doing it. They are pretty good at what they do, and that's a fair way of bringing things up to them. So if you do have any issues with it arriving in a bad condition, you can talk to them, and quite often they'll just give you a voucher or something to compensate for the quality not being the best. So at the end of the day, I don't have an issue with CX. There does seem to be, at least in Britain, well, I don't think any CX any other place, but in Britain there is a CEX are a bit taboo, shall we say, among some collectors. They're spoke of in harsh ways. If you are, I've never had a problem ordering from CX. They have been fantastic every single time. So I don't personally have an issue, and this will obviously be arriving in the next few days, and I look forward to having a look at it and all that kind of stuff. It was an impulse purchase, and I'm currently worrying about how I'm gonna recoup the money, but that's a task for future me, to be honest. Anyway, I'm starving. If you can hear my stomach growling like a bear with a sore head for the last 6 minutes or so, but I'm gonna go and put that pizza in the air fryer, and I'll speak to you guys later. Hi guys, so it's currently 2:30 p.m. or 14:26, I think is the current time in military or 24-hour time, if you prefer. I've had the rest of my pizza, and that went down very nicely. Currently enjoying a nice cup of coffee at the moment, so this is self-contained time for a cuppa. That's really nice. I bought some full cream or full fat milk, if you prefer, yesterday to use almost exclusively with my coffee machine, unless I fancy a cup of full cream milk, which on occasions I do. I must say, having a nice cup of full cream milk is nice on occasions. I typically use semi-skimmed for just drinking milk. I drink a lot of milk. A lot of milk. Or if I'm putting in my tea or other coffees that I don't make by my machine, or before I switch to full fat, I'd use semi-skim milk. But yeah, I've been messaging a few people on Facebook Marketplace. Got a few ideas of what to spend some of that money on that I'm going to be getting. So the plan is to get some kind of... The thing with it is, when I say some kind of laptop, there is a thought in the back of my head that hopefully, if I can get that MacBook Pro working that I spoke about, in my TFAC yesterday, with the MacBook that I'm getting hopefully in the next couple of days. There's no tracking. There is tracking information, but there's no information within the tracking information, if that makes sense. All it says is that Royal Mail are expecting it. I have a very slight feeling, there's a niggling thought in the back of my head, although I point to the front of my head, but anyway, that it's a potential scam. That what this person does is they sell you the item, they generate a tracking number, because obviously you can get things picked up from your house nowadays from Royal Mail. Royal Mail have expanded their services quite a bit because they're trying to... What's the expression? They're trying to save face is the best way of putting it, but also sounding a little bit blunt, because right now the Royal Mail do not have the best reputation, I must say, because of some things that have happened over the last couple of years. So they're trying to save face, so they're trying to increase their services to make them much more convenient to use as opposed to their competitors. How's that going for your Royal Mail? Anyway, so one of the features or services they now offer is an expanded ability to pick things up from one's house. So you can go online, you can arrange for something for collection. All you literally need to do is, when the courier or the Royal Mail or the postie, if you want, arrives, they scan a QR code from your phone. They have a label or a label printer. They print off the label, slap it on the box, and away they go. all good. To be honest, in this day and age, in 2025, that is how parcel collection should go. It should be quick, swift, easy. Away you go. So, fair enough. But one thing it has allowed people to do is scam the system a bit more. Obviously, you give more features. There are some people that are going to abuse those features. And what I think this person's doing, they used to do it way back in the day, but probably nowadays have to be a bit more sophisticated about it, is they generate a code, they stick that code into eBay. So eBay's happy they have shipped the item. And then at some point down the road, I'm trying to think how... I suppose the way they would do it is they would get their money because they put a tracking number on into eBay, and they probably got enough trust, so to speak, with eBay, because they do sell a lot of items, from laptops to phones to other items here and there. I mean, most of it is phones and laptops. They must run a business of some description, but obviously there are some personal items on there that they've sold over the years. But I'm guessing if they put the tracking number into eBay, they get the funds released almost instantly, and then they can transfer those funds out of their either eBay or PayPal account, in the hope that if you do raise a case against them, that there's nothing you can do because there's no money in there. Problem with that is, and this is the big thing, is eBay will pay the money back to the buyer in the end, and then will go after the seller, basically. And trust me, you don't want to cross paths with eBay in that capacity. That would be a really, really bad idea to cross eBay in that capacity. I've seen what eBay can do if they have the inclination, the financial inclination, and or just principally the inclination to go after somebody, and it's not pretty. And it's not pretty in the slightest. So, and they have a lot more legal clout than you do. And it's actually in their terms of service. It's not worded as verbosely as I just made it out, but it is in their terms of service that basically they will give you your money back, and then they will go after the seller, and they've got more legal standing and have more money to pay for decent lawyers than you do. Simply put, there are some people in the past that may feel a bit... what's the word? A little bit jibed by that, a little bit put off by that. But it's just the fact of the matter. I've always been a pragmatic person. It's just the fact of the matter. eBay have better lawyers than I could ever pay for. So, you know, that's where the cookie kind of crumbles. But anyway, I went on a bit of a tangent there. I'm hoping that if I do get this MacBook, but I can use it to create a recovery drive or media, restore that MacBook Pro, and maybe that MacBook Pro would actually be able to serve the needs that I want it to serve. I've actually been watching some videos over the last couple of days of the MacBook 2008, and it actually does really well on fairly modern operating systems. So if that can do fairly well on modern operating systems, and that came out in 2008, a 2012/2013 MacBook Pro with 16 gig of RAM and a Core i5 in it, I think it's Core i5 in there, should be able to do much better than that. So we'll see where things go with that one. But I have been messaging a few people here and there. I do have an idea of getting some Transformers, because I've always wanted to have a nice Transformers collection, and there's a couple of people selling their Transformers collection, so I might have a little word with them to see if we can strike a good deal. That's the idea. But I'm going to continue watching some YouTube. I keep forgetting to mention, this will probably now be the main part of the next segment, I keep forgetting to mention that I bought Ghost of Yotei, and that arrived on Thursday. I've been playing it profusely over the last few days, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. Seldom does a game come along that captures my attention quite like Ghost of Yotei has. And I'm actually not playing it as much as I want to play it because I want to savour it, if that makes sense. Even though that I know that it's like a 60-hour game. It's a decent chunker of a game. However, I still want to savour it. I don't want to drink it all in all at once. I want to prolong it. The other reason why I kind of want to prolong it is some not so good news came about yesterday, day before, that our rent is being increased. So it does mean that disposable income for the next however long is going to be decreased. So my game buying ability is going to be less for the next few months because about April of next year, ironically after tax year ends, some of my bills do decrease, so that's a good thing. But at the same token, obviously this rent increase will be forever now. But it does mean that the games I do have at the moment, I'm going to have to stretch out, which is kind of good because I have bought some meaty games recently. I bought Death Stranding 2, I've now got Ghost of Yotei. Silent Hill F isn't as meaty as those because that's about an 11-hour game and about halfway through on that one. I've still got Silent Hill 2 Remake to complete, and I've still got Monster Hunter Wilds, which has been sat on my drive on my PS5, not doing a lot for the last few months. I only even played it when I got the PS5 Pro because it does have a Pro mode, or PS5 Pro Enhanced support, whatever you want to call that. So I might boot it up and see what it's all about in Pro mode, Enhanced mode, whatever that is, for Monster Hunter Wilds. And of course, Wilds is one of those games that doesn't really ever end. You can keep playing it, you can jump in with more people, even when you're like max level. There is no max level, but even when you're high level, you can jump in and help other people. You know, it's kind of one of those games that you can dip in and out of. And of course, I do play Grand Theft Auto GT Online fairly often here and there, just to dick around. And of course, that's another game that never ends and it's good just to dip into and out of every so often. Anyway, this segment has gone on long enough. I'll speak to you later, guys. Hello, guys. It's now 5 to 3 p.m. on the same day, believe it or not. I did not think I'd be doing another segment so quickly after the last one, but I've been in talks with somebody just now over the last 20 minutes or so since I finished that last segment, who's been wonderful. They've got a Transformers collection that I think it's maybe their husband's or something. Anyway, they're selling their collection and they've been fantastic. And I've asked if they can ship it. They're going to get their daughter to help them to see if they can ship it. There's a massive spaceship that I didn't realise is called the Ark. Because to be honest, I don't recognise every single figure that's in the collection that they're sending. Massive spaceship. And I was like, you may not be able to sell that, so you may have to knock some money off. And they went, I should be able to still ship that. And then they said, they asked 3 times, are you okay with the price? Is the price okay? And I went, for everything I'm getting, that price is pretty decent. The reason why I'm bringing this up is literally, well, more than 12 hours ago, I spoke to somebody yesterday about buying an anime collection off of somebody off of Facebook Marketplace. And again, I asked if they'd be willing to ship it. They got really cagey, really quickly, a bit defensive, in fact. I'm like, I'm not sure if I can ship that. They're like, it's quite heavy stuff. There's a lot of it. Not sure I can package up a whole entire collection and send it to you. That's a bit. I'm going to be very blunt here. They were basically being lazy, is what they're being. They're being lazy. If you can't ship up a few anime DVD box sets into a box and ship it off to someone, then sorry, you're lazy. I understand people have different lives, they lead different lives, and maybe she didn't have the time to do it. But if that's the case, just straight up say you don't have the time to do something. I don't understand. It's one of the biggest things I don't understand about us humans, is why we deflect over things that would embarrass us or would end up with egg on our face. I understand that people may be busy. You may have kids. You may have a busy career, job, whatever it may be. I understand. But be fucking honest. If you don't have the time to do something,
Tell somebody you don't have the time to do. I think that's the main thing. People don't like being direct and blunt. I am direct and blunt, if you couldn't tell. People don't like to be direct and blunt, yet I like receiving people being direct and blunt because I'm that way myself. It's how I go about things. But when you put barriers in the way, when you're like, that's a lot of stuff to ship, it's going to be quite heavy. You are aware that's going to cost you £25 in postage. No, it's not. You know, she was trying to price me out of the postage. She was making out that it's going to be this arduous effort to package everything up and get it out to me. This part I will say is fair enough. She did say part of the collection is her partner's collection. So she needs to liaise with them. I'm not going to say him, I don't want to assume. But she has to liaise with them over some of the things. That's fair enough. And whether they're happy with it being shipped, I can kind of understand when they're coming with that. Because if they ship it and it gets damaged and I send it back and then it's damaged, that's not going to be too nice, especially a collection you've spent a lot of time and money building up. I appreciate that in a lot of ways, but come on. Why this other person who admittedly has more bigger things to ship, has a massive Transformers ship to ship to me and a load of figures to ship to me, and yet they're more than happy to do it. In fact, you know, they're going to get their daughter to help them, and I thought I'd come and have a bit of a vent. Some people I don't understand. Just tell me. If you don't have the time to do something, just tell me you don't have the time to do it. Don't put barriers in the way that I can see through the bullshit. Like they are flipping glass. People. Hey, people. Sometimes I wonder if it's valid to get this annoyed at various things. And I keep a lot of things bottled up, I'll be honest. On occasions, a good vent feels good. And what better place to do it than on my own YouTube channel? I should do this more often. I should rant and vent and rave. Excuse me. More often. It feels good. It feels good to get it all out there sometimes. I'm currently resetting my watch because almost none of my notifications from my phone are coming through to it at the moment. I don't know why. So I'm just resetting it, letting it go back to factory defaults, and then hopefully everything will go through to it. Anyway, I'm going to continue watching some YouTube, drink my coffee. Check back with you later, guys. Hi, guys. Currently 3:20 now, or 15:25, or 15:20, sorry, if you prefer. I've been going back and forth with this seller. At one point, I was almost going to make my way to South Wales. Not right now. Obviously, I'm not leaving at 3:20 on a Sunday evening to make an 8-hour round trip because I wouldn't make it in time for work tomorrow. That would not be a good idea. Although I am working from home tomorrow. I'm joking. I'm very much joke. I don't even have the money right now to pay for everything, so I can't pay for the train fare. Won't be able to pay for the items. So yeah, that's not a good idea. That would be very reckless to do that right now. But I already made a reckless decision. This morning by buying that Sons of Anarchy set. So that'd be an even more reckless decision. But anyway, this person's been brilliant. You know, I said I'd be willing to travel to South Wales, and they were like, oh, if you'd be willing to travel, that'd make it a bit easier. They've literally just turned around and said, oh, I might be able to sort out the PayPal, because I said I'm not paying the amount of money that it is without having PayPal protection. And they said, no worries, if I can't sort PayPal out, and my daughter might have PayPal, and we can sort out something together. I said, that'd be be willing to ship? And she said, yep, by all means, I'd be willing to ship if that was the case. She has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, it makes me even more want to go with her because of how nice she's being, how understanding that she's willing to meet halfway. You know, I'm like saying, I'll be willing to go to Wales and pick everything up and come back again. Yes, again, it's a almost 9-hour round trip, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I mean, I'll probably even be able to find a cheap hotel there to maybe stay over in Wales and come back the next day if I didn't want to do it all in one day. I'm sure that's a possibility if I really wanted to do that. Make a bit of a thing of it, you know, go to Wales, pick up a load of Transformers, stay over, have a nice meal, come back. Why not? Dare I say, why not? As Emgo, the freaking geek himself, would say, why not? He's a Transformers reviewer on YouTube that I've watched for many, many years. And that's one of his favourite sayings is, dare I say, why not? Dare I say, why not? And also one of his famous sayings is, second verse, same as the first. It's, yeah, anyway, I've been watching a lot of him over the last couple of hours while I've been going back and forth with this individual. But I don't want to belabor this point too much, although I kind of am. I have so much. I interact with a lot of people on the Facebook marketplace. And over the years that I've now been doing it, I've had my fair share of people. And unfortunately, the nice people, the really understanding people like this lady, I think it's a lady anyway, are just seldom. They are far and few between. And when they do come along, it's like, it's like, you know, rays from the heavens coming down. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'll be honest. People like this, these are the kind of people, to be honest, I put up with the shit that I put up with on Facebook Marketplace. And I do put up with them shit. Probably because I'm so blunt, to be honest. So when I see through bullshit, I call them out on bullshit. That's what I do. I call people out on bullshit, and then they get defensive back to me, and then it becomes this whole back and forth. When my bullshit detector goes off, I throw it back in their face. I probably shouldn't, but that's what I do. So when the good people come along and are really nice and just like, yeah, I'm willing to help you, I'm willing to compromise, I'm willing to do what it takes to get you these items, what more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? I might go for a little walk, actually, or maybe a little cycle. Maybe I'll go for a little cycle. Anyway, I thought I'd come on here and give you a bit of an update on that one. Anyway, I'll go for a bit, maybe a bit longer this time. I'm really, really, really thirsty right now. I'm thirsty for like orange juice or something. Maybe I'll pop to the shop and get some orange juice and glug that down like there's no tomorrow. This is good for me. And then I'll probably grab something for dinner. Yeah, that's probably an idea, actually. Maybe some more, maybe a bottle of Coke or something. Anyway, I'll check back with you guys later. So hi there, guys. It's currently 3:54 a.m. on Monday, the 6th of October, 2025. So this is also a self-contained 3-hour rambles with Fino right at the end of this OTGV, you lucky buggers. You get a 3M rambles with Fino. So really, really strangely, I've just gotten a notification from eBay saying the MacBook, the 2008 unibody MacBook that I spoke about in my TFAC, the last TFAC that I did. For context, I've ordered a 2008 aluminium unibody MacBook from eBay, And I was a little bit worried. I spoke about earlier, I think it was in this very OTGV, I spoke about the fact that I think the seller was just giving me almost like a fake tracking number. But eBay's just updated me saying that it's out for delivery. It's going to be delivered today, which is weird. Then I find out there are 2 tracking numbers. One hasn't done anything with, and the other one actually has updates for it. Now, there's a high chance that, again, there could be some dubiousness going on with this, but it looks like it's arriving today. I am working from home today, so I will be receiving my MacBook, and as soon as the time comes around for me to clock off work, I'll be putting in the SSD that I've got and probably installing Snow Leopard onto that MacBook, upgrading it as far as I can, and then trying to make a recovery drive on there as soon as possible so I can then get the MacBook Pro up and working, and then I'll have a 2008 MacBook aluminium unibody and a hopefully working MacBook Pro, I say 2012 or 2013, whichever model that is, all up and working. I've been back and forth today with the seller of those Transformers. They have been fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I really do look forward to receiving them once I can pay for all of them. But I think it is time to bring this OTGV to an end. I did say I'd do a within one day OTGV. We have technically gone into the early hours of Monday morning, but I ended up going to bed early last night and sleeping, which is why I'm awake at like 3:57 a.m. because I went to bed at like, what time did I go to bed last night? Like 5 or 6, maybe later than that, maybe 7. Anyway, and I was watching YouTube, been watching a load of Transformer reviews, been watching reviews on the Transformers I'm going to be receiving when this person sends them. And I've been dozing off here and there, and then I actually fell asleep for a while. So, you know, that's why I'm awake. Right now, I'm starving right now, so might have to go and get a 3 a.m. in the morning snack. As you do, as you do. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this OTGV, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-ra.